what got us to the point in which we decided to do this, and what we plan on doing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And
So,
and
yeah, go
I
ahead.
think that this is something important, and I think this is something that we should really address this to the audience as well. Being honest, and I mean being honest in the sense of you're talking to family, and sometimes it's harder to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a certain level of pressure or guilt or what have you that might be stopping you from being completely honest. I think that might be something worth talking about as well.
Yeah, that's right. I don't see why there should be guilt, but you are right. What do you think, William? You're very quiet there.
What do you mean? Have you been honest or what? Or
no, yeah. What do you think? What do you want to get from this channel?
Well, I just want to. The whole point of this channel is so that we can keep each other at gunpoint, more or less, and motivate and really get each other out there and getting going. Because do you need a tissue, guys?
So I was thinking for myself about goals, and can you both see the ticker going down there?
Yeah.
My goal is
I see it.
There's a time in my life that I remember. It was before I met your mum, and you guys know about my porthole, don't you?
Yeah, I remember that.
And back in those days, I was diving with a wetsuit, not a dry suit. And here above the garage, I still have the wetsuit. I've got the dry suit as well.
Mm-hmm.
So my goal is to get that wetsuit back on again. And if I get there, or when I get there, I'll be very, very happy. Not that I'm unhappy now, but when I get there, you can see this buff boy on the left with the very skimpy shorts.
God. No, I'm on the right part. I'm wearing sweatpants. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's a great picture.
That was me back in 1987. I must have some around with my wetsuit.
Yeah.
What I'd like to do is put the wetsuit on again, and I've still got the porthole, and relive that picture.
Mm-hmm.
Because it means a lot to me. I remember where that was. I remember the day that we went out. That's Lyme Regis, right at the end of Lyme Regis.
Right.
That's when the picture was taken, and I was very, very proud. As I was very proud on the other picture back in, when was it? 2000 and...
Oh, it's been a minute now. It's been a few years. 20, maybe 14.
Possibly was, and I remember what a whiny baby you were then.
Oh,
I told you it was just over the next hill, That
was terrible.
It
was the worst thing. Does the world that is watching us, do they know our current situation? Do they know why we're each talking on different webcams?
No, I guess not. Well, definitely not. Nobody really knows. So
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, we are, as you may have guessed, we're all related. William is my brother. Richard's my dad. I'm the middle child, and we all live. We've all grown up, and we're all living in our own places. William is. I'll let him say that. And my dad is living where he is. I'll let him explain that. But I live in America. I live in Boise, Idaho, and I've lived in America for about 5 years, almost 6 years now, and I moved to America to become a fireman, and then I was a fireman for about a year and a half, 2 years, and then from that I transitioned, and I got what you call sort of a normal job, and I worked in Washington D.C. In an office, and I didn't like it. It wasn't my calling, I guess would be the word, and so I said to myself I wanted to always move back to Boise because that's where I'm originally from. And so after a few years of toiling and working and saving, I drove across to Boise. I live here now, and it's absolutely great. And I'm engaged to an absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman, and we're going to get married within the next 2 years. And kind of going back into what we were talking about earlier, that's my goal. My dad's to get back into his wetsuit. Was it wetsuit or is it dry suit?
Wetsuit, but not for the wedding.
And no, not for the wedding. And my goal is I'd like to show up at the wedding. I'd like to go to my wedding, and I'd like to really be proud of how I look. I don't have a specific number in mind. I would like to go with you guys to get my tuxedo, and I'd like to just feel proud of my body and not ashamed.
Yeah. Have you chosen the best man yet?
Yeah. William's my best man. It's a tough job. But I have no doubts that he can do it. It's really exciting. It's a really, really exciting time.
So what's your goal then, William?
Well, about 7 years ago, I was an athlete in the rowing division, and back then I was extremely athletic and I had the body to go with it. And 7 years have gone past, and I've not been happy with my body since then. And that's my goal. So I'm not gonna set a kilo weight for now. I just want to get thinner, get rid of this here and my man boobs, my moobs a bit, and also my inner thigh fat to stop the chafing. So that's really my goal. To my living situation, my whole family, we grew up in Austria, and I still live in Austria. I live in Vienna, and I study tourism at the moment, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, really.
Yeah. Hey, chafing, when you mention that, that's something that brings both a smile and a tear to an eye at the same time.
Yeah.
It's something that not many people want to talk about, but
yeah,
it's not a laughing matter.
Yeah,
I remember, Thomas, when I had to carry you because of your chafing. I remember, William, when you had to give up this Fürberger loaf, when you had to give it up because of chafing. It's hard.
The
weird thing is that for a long time now, I haven't had a problem with it. It seems that somehow or other that your legs get to a certain point, and after that point, they don't like it anymore, and God, it's painful.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So, how do we all get out of shape then? Because I was looking through some pictures today, and maybe there's one I'll post another time. I have one of you, Thomas, standing in front of the fire truck in Rockville,
Yeah.
And you're looking pretty buff then.
Yeah.
That wasn't so long ago. And what about you, William? What changed?
Well, after I quit rowing, the sport that I loved, I didn't think I was going to find anything that I'd love as much as that. I quit, because the trainer got fired and no one liked the other trainer that we had, and then many people quit after that. And just years of neglect, always having biscuits with tea and having the little things ready, drinking too much during lockdown and eating too much rubbish, and so that stuff combined over the years, really just neglecting the body.
Hey, you raise a good point. It's not overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. It's over the years.
Mm.
Just one beer too many here, one donut too many there, and the great things about this world, the place that we live, wherever you go, there's great food. Doesn't matter which country it is. There's great food, and it's easy to eat. The other thing is, wherever you go in this world, there's great opportunity for sport and exercise. And there's plenty of excuses that you can use, but the fact is, it's always a choice.
Yeah.
Do I go and eat, or do I go and exercise, or do I do both? And unless you're in the right mindset, it's much easier to sit and have Krispy Kreme donut.
That was the thing when we went on holiday to America 6 years ago. I put on so much weight because I was always eating desserts after the meals. And last time, 2 years ago now, I didn't eat any desserts, if you remember, and I didn't put on that much. Well, I don't think I really put on much because we went out walking every day, didn't we, Daddy? And
Yeah.
it was you, Thomas. So I still ate rubbish, but I think it's the sugar that really killed me back then. Or
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest problems I think that a lot of people have with weight gain is the effects are not instantly visible. You get depressed and you eat food, or you do something, or you do an activity which spend all day on the couch or whatever it is, to make you feel better, and you wake up the next day, you don't look any different. It's not like this instant change in your body that you can see and make a decision on. You wake up and you look the same, but you remember yesterday, oh, I ate that burger, it felt really, really good, I still look the same. You know what, I could probably do it again. I think that might also play into it a little bit, is for the same reason that we hate exercise. It's not an immediate thing. You don't see immediate results. I think that might be one of the big contributors as to why we do overeat the way we do, because in my mind, I don't think as many people would be overeating as much as they are if they would instantly see that change. If they said, hey, just FYI, tomorrow you're gonna have an extra inch on the waist. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, yesterday morning, I went up on the mountain snowshoe walking, and I did about 2.5, 3 miles. By the time I got back to the car, I was soaked from my feet to my neck with sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely worn out. It was wonderful. It was a clear blue sky. It was minus 10 degrees Celsius. It made me feel great to be alive. And when I got back to the car, I got into the car. I had a good English tea ready there waiting for me. So I had the tea and some healthy cake made by your mother. Not too big a piece, but I felt good. Then I came back home and I sent a little challenging WhatsApp message to William there. And the first thing that came back was, "Great job." The second thing that came back was something like, "How many calories did you burn?" And I think it was about 1,500 calories. And I think the next comment was, "You realize that's," what did you say? Like a piece of butter or something? I can't remember what you said now.
I said it's sad that the fact that a square of chocolate is over 100 calories. So
Yeah.
and I didn't want to bring you down. It's just shocking, the fact, and it's easy. I understand how people can gain weight quickly.
Definitely. One of the conscious changes that I've made since Christmas is I've really cut down the amount of bread that I eat now. I haven't cut it out completely, because I enjoy bread now and again. We had fish and chips on Friday night and had some bread and butter with that. Some things just go together. But as you both know, a typical Sunday breakfast, weekend breakfast, lots of semmels, lots of bread rolls, fresh meats, and other great stuff. I've not had a semmel bread roll for days now. It's something that I can really do without. I still enjoy the butter. I still enjoy other things. So I've got some way to go, but I'm sure that by cutting the bread out, there'll be a big benefit going forward. The neighbor across the road, he's lost 7 kilos since giving up bread. So 7 kilos, what's that, 16 pounds? And he said that he's given up his bread, he's given up milk, he still drinks a few beers on the weekend. And he says that his knees are feeling better, his elbows are feeling better, and he's looking good on it. So I see no reason not to.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what? I know that in your job you're doing a lot of walking, Thomas. Are you doing any exercise outside of work, or?
Yes. I work in the shipping department of a fulfillment company, which essentially, if you buy a product from Amazon, chances are it comes from a fulfillment center, which is it basically means that Amazon doesn't have the infrastructure to house all the products that you buy from Amazon. And so there are companies like the one I work for, and they say, "Hey, we'll offer you warehouse space. You can keep your items there. We'll ship them for you in exchange for a fee." And so that's what I do. And so I'm on my feet from about 8 a.m. to 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I'm getting around, it ranges, but usually it's around 14 to 18,000 steps a day. But there are times where it's a little slower, as it always is, and I'll be just below or just shy of that 10,000. But William made a good point the other day. We were on the phone together, and he talked about how he was really trying to make an effort to get to at least 10,000 steps a day. And, I think if nothing else, I think it's just a good round number to hit. I don't see why we shouldn't be able to get to 10,000 steps. So, my goal is at least 10,000. If I can get more than that, I will. I don't hit 10,000, and as soon as that stops, I'm done for the day. I don't have that luxury, but it's definitely been a real struggle, and it's been a lot of running around. The job requires me to work really fast, and so I'll be running back and forth, and it's been a lot of chafing. There's been a lot of pains and specifically around my ankle. Um, it's a difficult one, but yeah, I do try and keep it up outside of work as well.
So any targeted exercise outside of work, or is it just picking up a few extra steps here and there?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first part of that.
Yeah. So is it, for me at the moment, as you both know, this time of year, I'm really enjoying my snowshoe walking.
Yeah.
So that's a targeted exercise. So it's not just walking around to get the steps in. It's getting in the car, driving somewhere, and doing a real exercise.
Yeah.
I know that at the moment, William, he's started doing a bit of running. You still running with the 20 kilos on your back, or are you just running?
I can't run with the 20 kilos on my back, but
No.
I run once or twice a week.
You can't yet. You will. You will, though.
I think I have to get a proper backpack for that because mine is messing me up a bit.
Yeah, understood. So that was the question, Thomas. Are you doing anything different than walking? Not that there's anything wrong with walking.
No, for sure. Yeah. Yes, I am. It is walking, but it's more of a hiking. I live, like I said, in Idaho, and we have some really beautiful nature out here. And my fiance and I, we really love driving out into the middle of nowhere. We'll drive to places that we'll see, and we'll see it from the road. We'll pull into a parking lot. Like yesterday, we went to I don't know if you've ever been, Bonneville Point.
Doesn't ring a bell, no.
You have to basically just drive out, sort of eastbound of I-84 out of Boise, and you're on that road for 10-15 miles, and then you have this turn off, and you go over the cattle grates, and it is just out in the sticks, and then there's this dirt road that takes you up to this point, and it's got a little hut. It's a visitor center, and it was on the old Oregon Trail, and it was the spot where Lois and Clark first found Boise.
Mm-hmm.
And it is really a beautiful area, and people pull in there, and there's really good hiking, and people bring their ATVs, and so we went there yesterday because we were actually looking for a place to do our engagement pictures. And so we did quite a bit of hiking around that area, trying to find some good spots. And with the weather being as it has been for us recently, it was really wet. It was really muddy, and there was a lot of it was a really strenuous loop that we did to get around, find our spot, and then get back. And we don't do that every day of the weekend, but we do like to go out, and we like to do fun things.
Mm-hmm.
So did he get the 10,000 steps in, or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I got 11,000 yesterday. Which compared to what I do on a normal day isn't much.
That's what I'm saying. That doesn't matter. Daddy, in my opinion, he overdid it, because when I said I do at least 10,000, Daddy had to, of course, put on the competition mode, and then he started doing 15, 16, 17,000 steps a day. And I think in the long run, if you always do that amount of steps, and then one day you don't want to do that amount of steps, then 10,000 is going to seem like a lot more in a way.
Yeah.
Or it's not going to be as satisfying reaching that 10,000. That's why it's good to still do the minimum amount, and then really praise yourself if you do more than that.
You're right, and it's important to always remember there's steps and then there's steps.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as I remember from Vienna, from where you are at least, there aren't any hills. Do I remember it being pretty much flat?
Yeah, definitely.
And what I know yesterday when I went up to Dobrecht, I only did 6,000 steps. Oh lordy, those steps were hard.
Yeah.
Hard going up, because being typically British, I didn't take the easy way. I went straight up the steepest slope I could find, because these shoes that I've got are great. They're American designed, and they got this fancy little metal piece at the back that you flip up to make it easier to climb up steep slopes. So I went all the way up to a rescue hut that was out of the way from anywhere, and then all the way down again. And I finally got back to the car, and as mentioned before, I was completely sweaty. And I looked at it and I thought, well, that's only 6,000. And then I thought, well, those 6,000 are probably worth 10, 12,000 of walking around where we live here.
Mm-hmm.
And then what people can say, well, yeah, but it's flat where I live, so that's all I can do. So then if you do the 10,000 steps faster and stride out a bit and get the pulse up, then that counts for a lot as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Carrying extra weight like a backpack.
Yeah,
Just that.
true. At the moment, I carry my weight around my waist. It's going though. It's going.
What do you guys think? And I'm gonna do a bit of what our family is obsessed with weight. What do you guys think is I don't even know what I'm trying to say here, but I know why we're obsessed with weight, but what do you think is the reason that for so long, for so many vacations, for Christmases and all that, it's always been about losing weight, getting fitter, we'll do this, we'll fit into this, we'll get into that. And what do you think it is that we've just said, it just doesn't happen,
Well, we've never tried really.
I think it's because we're a normal family. Yeah. I think there are so many families out there like this. And in many ways, we're a much luckier family than most, in that the two of you and your sister had two parents all living in the same house.
Yeah, sure.
As we all remember, moving to Austria was a challenge. We went through some good times. We went through some hard times.
Oh, it was terrible.
And one of the consistent things that there was throughout all of those times was the fact that your mum's a great cook.
Yeah.
And when you eat food, it puts a smile on your face. And then over the years, we've associated the smile with the food, the feel-good feeling. And as we mentioned earlier in this discussion, that unless you really keep track of it, you lose sight of your health and your fitness. And you just come home each day and you eat the good food. You get used to it. And then once a year, come Christmas time, you pull on your clothes and you think, oh, goodness gracious me.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
I do think it's kind of, I think for the longest time, though, we were kind of BSing each other, though. Again, and this is talking about me. Well, for 360 days out of the year, we did minimal,
Mm.
And we come home, we all get back together for Christmas, and we say, yeah, you know what, I wanna do something, we should do this, we should do that. And I think that was almost detrimental to the whole plan of trying to get fitter, to try to get better and healthier. Because I think that in those 2 weeks, week and a half, however long that we're all together, we did have a tendency to build up a lot of, yeah, we're gonna fit into this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna get like that, and I think that it was so much in such a condensed amount of time, and it wasn't like, hey, William, you know what? If you ever need anything, please give me a call. I'd love to help you, or like, hey, Dad, look, I'm really proud of you. Do you want to just go out and, do something, play outside, throw a ball around, or we'll go on a walk or whatever. It was very much, when we get back, we're just going to do it. I don't know. Did you guys ever get that feeling at all? Because I kind of did. There were times where I was just like, I was kind of sitting there. I was like, nothing's going to change. And I feel like it set you off on a bad start into the new year. How did you guys even have that at all?
Well, I definitely know what you're talking about, for the most part. Some stuff I didn't quite understand really.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I always seem quite condescending when you guys tell me you want to lose weight, because I've witnessed, even with myself over the past years, that it's total BS 99% of the time.
Yeah.
And this time it's for real. I've realized at one point last year, or beginning of the lockdown, I was averaging, I think, 30 steps a day, because I just wasn't going out. I was just gaming and eating rubbish and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look at my friends, and then I look at myself in the mirror, and I just say 7 years of procrastination is enough. And with your wedding, I mean, no offense, but I couldn't imagine getting married at that size. And really, no offense, Thomas, because we're going to do everything we can to not let that happen, aren't we?
You still there, Thomas?
Oh, no, I'm here. I'm just waiting to hear what you have to say.
Who, me or Daddy?
Oh, Pa.
Well, first of all, talking about what William said. At your wedding, I want to be in a photograph with you, with Lily, the rest of the family, some people that are close to her, and the people that are close to you. And I want to have a photograph where in 20 years' time you can look back and say, we look good there. Not, oh my lordy, we're the fat family. So I definitely am looking forward to being there. I promise I won't be in the wetsuit, but something a little bit more. And I won't be wearing the shorts like I did there either, because I think they've probably been listed now as being unfit for people's eyesight. But I want to be fit and healthy, and I will be fit and healthy. But back to what you say about every year Christmas, and you're right, and it's such a mixed message, because as most parents do, Christmas has lost a lot of the spiritual importance, and it's now for many people a reason or an excuse to eat and drink to excess. I remember the time when there was the 17-kilo turkey. So when I look back, that was a great memory. But I think this year we had, was it 8 kilos or 7 kilos, wasn't it, William?
7 or 8, yeah.
And 7 kilos is good for about 8 people. So where the rest of that turkey went all those years ago, besides the soup, I just don't know. So yeah, you spend 3 or 4 days shoving all of this food in.
Yeah.
Then 3 or 4 days saying, "Oh, William, Thomas, you're really fat. You really put on weight. You need to lose." So, and I don't think that people say these things and intentionally don't bother. It's just once you go away from the pressure, you think, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. What they say makes sense. I do need to lose weight, but oh wow, that Chick-fil-A biscuit and gravy, that's great. I'll take one of those, or that Wiener Schnitzel, that McDonald's, whatever.
But that's
I'll
still
take.
fine, like once a month. It's all right. You don't have to stop eating junk food.
I know you're right.
But quick to that, since I've been alone in Vienna, so it's about over 10 days now, I've not eaten any junk food at all, or besides McDonald's with you. But that was 10 days ago, roughly. And yesterday I had pizza, the first junk food in 10 days, and it didn't agree with me. I mean, it just felt bloated and lazy, and didn't feel too good. So I'm sure it didn't, because the pizza where we ordered from was good, so I'm sure it wasn't anything wrong with it. But you will realize that once you go a certain time without this stuff, you just realize that you don't need it as much. And I mean, sure, I prefer to eat a burger than salad, but at the end of the day, I mean, food is just to get some energy, and we think it makes us happy, but those 2 minutes of happy, is it really worth the 10 hours of exercise you have to do to get rid of it? And I don't know.
What are your thoughts, Thomas? Because you got it worse than most over there in America.
Yeah.
Because everywhere you drive,
I've got it worse than most Americans. I live right on the street that has McDonald's, that has Burger King, that has Del Taco, Taco Bell, and you know what's sad? It's sad that I know all of that. That's the thing. I know all that, and it is so. I think of it as a different. I think of it as a different way. I think of it as a convenience. I think of it as I've got no time, or I forgot to have breakfast today, or whatever it is. I think of it as a convenience, and I think that's a big part of it is they're these places. It used to be, well, you don't go to McDonald's until noon or dinner, whatever it is, but now they have a breakfast menu. Now you can go there whenever you want. And a lot of these places are doing the same thing. They open a breakfast menu, and they have a $1 menu. And you're like, well, you know what? If I go there, I'm just going to get the $1 menu. I'm not spending a lot of money. And the $1 menu is small, so it's not going to be too high on the calories. Then you pull up there, and I mean, you know what? You know how it works. You see it, and it's like, well, I mean, that thing's got like one tater tot on it, and this one, it's $3, but God, it looks so good. And then you're standing there, you're like, I just hate this. And you buy the $3 thing that's got 1,500 calories. But yeah, I saw it as a convenience, and I'm very lucky now because Lily, my fiance, she does a wonderful job. She makes me my lunch. She packs my lunch and my breakfast.
What's in lunch?
Lunch is usually just a peanut butter and jelly.
Okay.
PB&J, and then there's usually some kind of snack. It's for the most part it's sesame seeds. I was going to say sunflower seeds. The sesame seeds, and we buy them in bulk because they're super cheap, and that's usually what my snack is. My lunch is, and yeah, it's nothing spectacular, but it is always nice to sit there and to just realize that it was made with by someone cares, and it's just a nice gesture. I think that was the thing about packed lunches in school that I think that a lot of American kids didn't have that we had. Lunchtime came around and there was always a or break time. I can't remember really, but we always used to get packed lunches.
Yeah, I'm sure that when you opened the packed lunch, so the big smile didn't come when you saw the carrots.
Well, no, but I think that I think there was definitely an element of that, but I also think that growing up the way we did, we very quickly moved past the phase of embarrassed or ashamed, if you were, of parents, because I don't remember ever feeling really embarrassed of you guys or you guys being there. I was always really proud of you guys and what you guys did. And so whenever I got that packed lunch and it had the carrots, and I was like, yeah, can I not get some good things in here? But it very quickly moved to, I'm really happy. I'm really grateful that we could have that. You have a look on your face.
No, not at all. I was just thinking of some of the memories,
Yeah.
But,
I fondly, there's this, you'll remember, there was a day I finished school and you picked me up from school and we drove to what?
The Schnecken.
Yeah, and we drove to a store called Billa. Was it? Yeah, Billa.
Yeah.
And in Austria, they have this sausage that they call the snail, and it really is this long, thin sausage that's been curled up into this. It looks like a snail shell, and we got one. Didn't we get a semmel as well?
Yep.
And we turned it into a sandwich, and we sat there by the lake, and we ate it, and it was a really nice thing, and I looked at it really fondly. And I think that's a really important thing to differentiate. There's two kinds of good memories when you associate with food. There is the go to McDonald's, eat, made you feel good, and go on about your day. But then there's certain particular meals, and they're few and far between, but you're going to remember them for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's right.
At one time where you used your credit card to butter the bread when we went down to Bled for the picnic.
That one time?
Yeah.
Done that many
I remember.
What's that, William?
You've done that many times, haven't you?
Yeah.
Or eating a yogurt or something.
Yeah. It's great for getting the maximum out of the yogurt pot.
Yeah. I did have a question for the group, and this is sort of completely off what we've been talking about. What would you guys say your biggest vice is?
Alcohol.
Yeah.
Because I can go without it for quite a while.
Mm.
What I find though is once I've had a couple of whiskeys, then I get hungry. So then I go and get some peanuts or something else. And once I've eaten something, I get thirsty. So I drink some more. And then once I've drunk some more, I get hungry. So I eat some more. And then by the time I go to bed, I've eaten too much or drunk too much, and I wake up the next day thinking that was silly. So I can see chocolate and I can take it or leave it. It doesn't do much for me.
Right.
But alcohol is today wasn't a good day because I didn't have much energy. Maybe I did overdo things yesterday.
Yeah.
But yesterday there was a special offer, saving money wherever I go. And I went to the supermarket and I saved so much money because I bought 40 bottles of beer, 2 crates of beer, Gusto beer, great stuff. And it's right outside of the front door. So just as you walk past, it stayed out there last night. So it's really super cool today. So I was cooking lunch today. I made a lasagna.
Yeah.
So it was the supersized lasagna that's going in the freezer. And I drank the first beer and God, it was good.
Yeah.
Cold, ice cold and good. And then after the first one, you need a second one.
Yeah.
And after the second one, you may as well have a third one. But after the third one, I stopped. And then I see William shaking his head, and I know he's right, and I know that he's never done it.
Never.
In 3 beers.
Never
As
today.
you know, when we were brewing the beer together, that's a ton of sugar in there. But at least I know that tomorrow's a new day. And Laura, she recommended a book a long time ago, the Kindness Method. And even though she recommended it, even though we shared the name with a few people, I think I'm the only person to finish the book.
Hey, no, that is not true. That is not true.
Okay, I said I think. I didn't say I was. I said I think.
Yeah, easy there, Scooter.
Okay. And the basic message that I learned is it's no point beating myself up about my 3 beers. I enjoyed them. And tomorrow will be a new day. And so far today, I've got my bear with. I've got 8,500 steps in. Even though I told William today that I was having a day off today. I managed to get my sorry backside out of bed this morning, and I thought I won't enjoy my breakfast if I've not done anything.
Right.
So I walked a couple of kilometers, what's that, 1.5 miles?
Yeah.
And I got back, and it was a slow walk. I think a tortoise could have done it faster, but I still did it. And I came back and I had my breakfast. And then whilst I was cooking lunch, the bolognese needed to simmer for 2 hours. So I went for another walk, another 2.5, 3 kilometers. And I'll get there. I'll get my 10,000 in today.
I still got to go as
in
well.
spite of 3 beers.
And doesn't that feel nicer though? I mean, even though you said you're not going to do it.
Yeah, it definitely does. Having said that, I wouldn't have beaten myself up tonight if I didn't do it, because what I learned from that book is the more time you spend beating yourself up about not doing something, the less time you're spending.
Yeah, it's just wasted time.
What you're going to do.
Yeah.
And that's why you mentioned about coming together at Christmas and making these resolutions. And that's why resolutions don't last very long, because people, they stick with it for 3 or 4 days or 3 or 4 weeks. And then they have 1 or 2 days when they don't do it. And then they think, it's game over.
Yeah, no point. Yeah.
We'll
do it next year. Yeah.
And of course, there is a point bothering, but people give up.
Right.
That's why I'm a bit scared of having a day without the 10,000 steps, because I know how easy it is to fall into that pattern again. But I'll do it next week. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah. It'll feel really nice, and it's like, oh God, it felt so nice to take a day off, sort of thing. Yeah.
But does it really? Because it's 1.5 hours of exercise. It's not much. I mean, I spent 3 hours alone on the toilet on my phone. I mean, I might as well be outside listening to music and enjoying the fresh air. I mean,
you spend 3 hours on the toilet, son. you've got to go and see a doctor. That's another story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What-
So my
Yeah, what-
advice.
Yeah. What's your advice, William?
I doubt myself too much with everything really. Well, no, with some things I'm overconfident, but with a lot of things like my photography or stuff, I just doubt myself. And it's like I told you the other day. I'm I'm sure you guys are scared of losing weight too, because I can't imagine being thin again, having a six pack again. I just can't imagine it. It's just not in my head. And I'm sure you guys are the same. And it's the same with I can't imagine being rich, but all I want to be is successful. I want to have my own businesses and stuff, but I doubt myself. Then I think it's safer to have a 9-to-5 job than to actually start doing something towards my future. So I don't know. I'm just scared, and I just doubt myself too much.
This is good practice. I've read a few books, motivational speakers, successful people. And I think in one book I read something that the only difference between very successful people and normal people is the successful people do the things that other people don't want to do.
Yeah.
So whether they're wealthy people, whether they're athletes, whatever they are, they're the ones that get up every day, even if they don't feel like it. And they do what they have to do, whether that's going out for a run, going out for a swim, paying the bills. They just do it and move on, keep doing it and keep moving on. And that's a lesson to us all. I think having said that, we've talked for nearly an hour, so it's probably time to wind this thing up.
Yeah.
And maybe once we've finished it, we could both stay on, or three of us stay on the line for a couple of minutes and talk about what we're going to talk about next week. That sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. In that case, I'll hit the end broadcast button for now.
All righty.
Then we'll talk some more.
Got the first one in the book.